Hello everyone, this is Walter from Wix Ideas and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add this gradient text to your Wix Studio website. Now you can see how I added this gradient here that changes colors over time, and I'm going to show you how you can add this exact feature to your Wix Studio website. Now just before we jump into the editor, please don't forget to smash the subscribe button if you haven't done so. And also turn on the bell notification to be the first to know of my future videos like this. Now let's jump right in. Alright, so here is the editor I'm going to be working on, and this is for a website called Air. Now the goal of this tutorial is to highlight the brand name, which is Air right here on the hero section. So what you're going to do first of all is to head over to the code. Now we're going to be adding a little bit of CSS to add the motion gradient. Alright, so click on code and then go over to start coding. Now this is going to enable your editor where we're going to add the global CSS. Alright, our code elements have finished loading, so let's go ahead and hide this panel right here. Now let's go ahead and click on the text element that you want to add a motion gradient to. Now let's go ahead and maximize our code panel. Head over to CSS class over here and add a CSS file. Now you're going to go ahead and make sure that you're in the global CSS, and here under the custom classes, make sure that your text is selected and change this class name to any name that you want. I'm going to call mine gradient dash text. Now this is the class name that we're going to be using to target our elements using CSS. Now I've written the code for you so you don't have to stress about that. Now go ahead and copy your entire code, head back to your global CSS, highlight all the comments out and clean them off, and then paste in your code. Now this is the CSS code that is going to help us animate our gradient. And just before we get this working, since we already have a class name, we're going to go ahead and change the class name everywhere it appears. Now I've given it a placeholder name, which is text CSS. Now everywhere you see this text, you're going to replace that with your created class name. So mine is called gradient text. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of that and Control F. Now that's going to find everywhere I have the text CSS. But I also want to replace this with my custom class name. Now mine is called gradient CSS. So just go ahead and add in that text where you're supposed to replace that. And click on this icon right here to replace your class name everywhere it appears in your code. Now once that is done, go ahead and minimize. Now you can see that the effect has started taking shape, but we have a message here that says to view this animation, you need to go to the preview mode. So go ahead and preview to see your changes. Perfect. Now we have our motion gradient in place and it's changing color as we expected. However, you can go ahead and modify or customize this to your brand. Now to do that, head back to your global CSS, and over here we have something called a gradient speed, and that is how fast it goes. Now you can see how smoothly that goes. You can increase or reduce it based on the speed you're looking for, but I think mine is good at 8 seconds. And we also have the linear gradient. So this is where you control the rotation of how this gradient moves. So you can see we have some kind of a slant over there as it moves to and fro. So you can go ahead and control that rotation by the degree. You can also change the color for the brand. I'm going to do that right now because we have a little bit of off color based on the brand. So I'm going to click on this cell right here, head over to inspector, and here we have a background color, which is a different color from what I have. So go ahead and copy this hex code, bring it right back to your code here on the CSS and replace the first one. You can also use or click on this icon here to change the color using the color picker from Wix. I'm going to go ahead and also choose the other colors that are within my editor, and don't worry, we're going to revert back to what we had earlier. So I'm going to change this one back. I'm also going to change this to a different color. I think we can go with this. All right, and then we're also going to go ahead and change the final color, so we can choose any other color. Let's choose this one and just simply replace that right there. Now let's revert back to what we had earlier, and that is looking good. All right, so now we are very close to what we have on our site. Let's go ahead and preview again to make sure that our animation is in place. Amazing. Now we have completely customized our gradient color, and it is looking very similar to what we have on our website. Now this is how you add a motion gradient text to your Wix Studio website. And if you're looking for more amazing videos like this, you can also check out the shape scroll animation for Wix Studio, which allows you to scroll through a particular image on your website and changes the shape of the image as you scroll. Now thank you very much, and I will see you in the next tutorial.